Awesome. Let's get going. So, you building and running a PMO and a little confused? Are you thinking that you need help, but really actually afraid to ask? Do you want to let your boss or executive know that you're struggling, or is that something you want to keep quiet? Right? Do you know where to turn to for help? Right? Is this you? Are you guys in this situation? And again, I'll get QA and do questions at the very big at the end. But think about these questions, right? Are you guys kind of struggling and not really knowing where to turn to? Because it happens a lot. So, can I tell you guys a little secret? Building a PMO, running a PMO, shutting down a PMO, none of this is easy. And don't let anyone tell you it is. Is it as complicated as chess? Yeah, actually, I think it is, if not more. Okay? So today's goal is really for the only way for you to be a successful PMO manager or to become one is to know these processes to build, run, and shut down a PMO inside and out. And the only way to build, run, or shut down a PMO is having the skills and the knowledge or hiring a consultant. Right? There's plenty of consultants that will come in and help you do either one of these three things. My name is Bill Dow. I have 28 years of hands-on experience. I've been at Microsoft for 14 years, AT&T for 5 years, the government of British Columbia for 8 years, City of Seattle for a couple of years. I worked at Bellevue College, and I still work, and I'm an instructor there in the local Seattle area. Constantly doing presentations, constantly out. I've done several PMO symposiums. I just got back from the UK where I did a PMO conference there. I've got buildoutpmp.com. I've been on the radio, Project Summit World, and I'm a 4-time author of the PMO Lifecycle, Building, Running, and Shutting Down, Project Management Communication Tools, the Tactical Guide for Building a PMO, still a #1 seller, and the Project Management Communication Bible way back in 2008. So with 28 years experience, lots of presentations, I've got lots of knowledge and background in building, running, and shutting down PMOs. And actually, here's my journey, right? So when I first started in the PMO space, I was at AT&T and Singular. I had a data warehouse PMO. So I had 7 project managers working for me. It was a very directive PMO. Then when Singular took over AT&T, we blew that PMO out. I had 30 PMs. I had admin staff. Again, it was a directive PMO. And now I'm at Microsoft, and I've ran 6 PMOs there in IT and services and ops and marketing. I've had up to 20 portfolio and project managers, program managers. I've had admin staff. I've ran directive PMOs, supportive PMOs, agile PMOs, and I'm currently running a PMO in the marketing space. So tons and tons and tons of experience in managing and running PMOs across my career. When I was running the PMO at Singular, basically what I was doing, I was setting up processes. I was setting up color definitions, playbooks, right? I knew I had something great here. And it was really the moment that I went, hey, I've got something here, because my PMO was firing at all cylinders, right? Everything was going great. I had manager responsibility. I had budget. I had the ability to hire, fire. I had budget for software. I had full authority over my PMO. And I thought, you know what? I better get this down on paper because I've got something good here and I've got something I want to share. But it was my first PMO, really. And, and I had no idea originally what I was doing. Right? So what I did is I really applied my project management knowledge to how I run a PMO. So I said, okay, if I need risks and issues on my project, then everyone running projects should use risk and issues. So I'd create an issue and risk process. And then what I do is I build a schedule process and a budget process and a change control. And again, basically every one of those knowledge areas from PMI, right? Back at the time it was 9, now it's 10. But every one of those knowledge areas I would then apply to the PMO. And I'd say, okay, we need a budget process. We need a change control process. right? And it was really about getting that stuff set up because I knew as a project manager, and I had tons and tons of project manager experience before I even got there and got into the world of PMOs. I knew I needed those key components. And again, PMI has really given us that framework and that blueprint for that based on the knowledge areas. Now, let's be clear. Your journey of running PMOs won't be the same as my journey, right? And so you guys won't be running a PMO at Singular, for example. You may not be firing on all cylinders, right? But using the processes and what I've set up will get you going in that direction. I built a strong foundation, right? Then when you build that foundation, then start running your PMO based on that foundation, you are set up for success. My situation, your situation, it's really not that different, right? The good news is I've done all the work for you, and you guys can learn from all my mistakes and really implement the things that I truly believe help make you a successful PMO. So what's your journey? Well, most of you guys are in that 3 to 5 year experience, right? The medium age, and you can go look at the state of PMO report from PM Solutions. They do an amazing job. But the medium age of PMOs in high performing organizations is around that 3 to 5 year range, right? So roughly experience is in that 3 to 5 year range. Just pause for a drink there. Does that make sense? You guys tracking that? Let me just add in the chat box if you guys are all in that 3 to 5 year. Yeah, 2 year, 3. Oh, 5. Yeah, okay. So yeah, TikTok. Yeah, okay. So 2, 1, 3. Yeah, thanks. And again, I can see that. I know it's full screen here, but I can see the chat box. So thanks for providing that. So basically, you guys are probably in that 3 to 5 year journey. But what's happening to your PMO now, right? Is your PMO just getting going? Some of you guys said 1 and 2 years, so you probably are. And now you have to shut it down? Or how about Agile? Is that really taking over your company and you don't know how to react to it? How do you make your PMO Agile? Are you struggling how to build or run your PMO effectively, right? Oh, I know. You've just been assigned as a PMO manager and you have no idea where to start. I field those questions all the time. Or you work in a PMO today and it's horrible and you want to make it better, right? You want to offer suggestions and tips and tricks, right? And you want to make it better. What is your situation? And there's a million of these out there. But what's your particular situation? Does that sound familiar, right? It should. Yeah? Let's go to the chat box, yeah? Put yes in the chat box if that sounds familiar. Yeah, definitely. So I've been successful with these PMOs, right, for many, many years, right? 17 years, I've run 7 PMOs, right? Since 2012, when I wrote my first book, right, I've been mentoring and helping other PMO managers use these same techniques. I've got a great track history of success with these methods. I've proven it across basically 3 different companies. Okay? So I've got 3 secrets I want to walk through today with you. I want to show you how to build, run, and shut down a PMO from the comfort of your own home, office, or mobile device. I want to show you how to build, run, shut down a PMO while you're still doing your day job. And then secret number 3, I want you to learn how to win that PMO interview and be much more knowledgeable about PMOs than even the people interviewing you. Sound good? Can I get a yes in the chat box? So that sounds good? Awesome. Yes. All right, let's do it. You guys ready to dive in? You super excited? I'm definitely excited about this. You guys ready? Awesome. So secret number 1, how to learn to build, run, or shut down a PMO from the comfort of your own home, office, or mobile device. How is that going to be possible? Well, online course learning has jumped 50% in the last 5 years. More and more classes and students are learning from the comforts of their home, coffee shops using online learning. Udemy has over 10 million students and 40,000 courses. So you are no longer tied to your desktop for learning. Most, if not all, these courses are available on your mobile devices as well, which makes it way, way easier to watch these videos. Environment that's the driver. You can't be doing this while driving, but if you're in a van pool or Uber, whatever the case may be, you could put on this and this course and basically see and watch how you do this. Okay? So let me introduce to you Michael and John, right? Both been very successful using my PMO course in their respective companies. And they both have embraced e-learnings for their PMOs. All right, and we'll get back to both of them later. So online courses are available everywhere you have Wi-Fi. Home, coffee shop, cafe, right? So learning in these environments where you're not stressed with your day-to-day workload is something sometimes much better to learn, right? And often much better to learn. If you can sit at Starbucks for an hour and go through some of this material, it's going to be much more conducive of sitting there in that friendly, comfy chair environment. So you're probably thinking, right, online courses won't work for you. Well, there's 10 million registered users using Udemy. So it seems to be working for them. And trust me, they're not all doing courses from their work computer. I've done drumming classes, I've done Facebook ad classes, right? I did them from my mobile and at home, at coffee shops, right? And so again, this is an amazing environment from that perspective, right? So online learning is one of the top methods of learning in today's fast-paced environment. If you've not started learning in this manner, today's going to be a great time to start. Okay, makes sense? So how do you build, run, and shut down a PMO while still doing your day job? So secret number 2. So the mix of projects to project manager assignments or ratios over the last several years have blown up to unbelievable rates. Right? I know of a project manager that's got 16 projects, and it's a disaster. And when I talk to him, there's no way he can possibly do those projects and manage those projects at the right level. So you're not going to learn course material in most cases while doing your job, right? It's not going to happen, right? So I suggest you don't even try. Right? Don't even try to learn and don't even attempt to do this while doing your day-to-day job. It's never going to happen. But that's okay, right? We just talked about the mobile, we talked about at Starbucks, we talked about at home, right? Because once you make that mind shift though, and you're ready to learn, you'll be ready to learn outside your normal working hours. So let's say that again. Once you're ready to learn, okay, and you make that shift that you don't have to learn while doing your day-to-day job, then you're ready to learn, right? Then you'll go, I'm good. I don't have to do this during my day-to-day. But you got to get there. You got to believe that in yourself. You got to believe that in your mind, right? Then what you're going to do is you're going to make that time and sit down and learn. But a lot of people struggle to get there. A lot of people struggle to go, yeah, no, I have to do this. This is a PMO class or a project communication class. I have to do this, right? I have to do this while I'm at my work or at my job. And so you got to get there, right? And I bold and I quote there because you got to get there with your mind, right? But you're going to say, but well, my company's paying for it. I have to take it on my work computer. But my boss wants to see me take the course, right? But I have to show them what I've learned via the course. Well, of course you do, right? Your company, your boss is not going to stand over your shoulder and say, do that course. I want to see you doing that course. I'm paying for that course. You need to watch, I need to watch you do that course. It's never going to happen. And of course you can show the results at your job. Right? Showing your results at your job does not mean that you're doing the course during your job hours or your normal working hours. Does that make sense? Are you guys kind of getting there? Does that make sense? Just in the chat box, just put yes if that makes sense or not. Just a bunch of yeses. Bob says yes. John says yes. Mary says yes. Awesome. So you guys are getting that, right? Now I know it's a hard shift. I get that it's a hard shift, but you have to get there. Right? So your day-to-day job is not conducive to doing online training. So stop thinking you have to take these courses during your workday. I was looking at a survey, and it was expandableramings.com, and basically it was really talking about how much email and stuff we receive. Email sent per day is 269 billion. The average person gets 121 emails a day, and we spend 149,500 cent each minute. So 149,000 emails are sent a minute. We get roughly 121 a day. So most days you could just process your email, and takes your 8 hours up. So again, you're not gonna do work, and you're not going to be able to do this online course during the course of your workday. So stop even thinking about it. Okay. So number 3, how do you win that PMO interview and be more knowledgeable about PMOs than the person interviewing you? Right? Wouldn't that be nice to go into an interview and know how to build, run, and shut down a PMO inside and out? So before we look at that, let's see if you're going to do any interviewing, right? Well, Glassdoor, when I last looked, had 14,000. Now, are they exact? No. Indeed had 3,000. LinkedIn had 1,000, right? You could go over job site, and you're going to see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of PMO manager jobs. The average PMO lasts 3 to 5 years. And as you can see, this is an ongoing cycle. Right, we just show you guys just told us that where you are with your PMOs. There was 3 years, 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, right? Well, the average PMO lasts 3 to 5 years. So if you're in that cycle, and Glassdoors and Indeed and LinkedIn have got all these jobs, well, clearly you're going to be in that interview cycle over the course of your career. Now imagine knowing how to build, run, and shut down a PMO inside and out. How exciting that would be while you're going through these interviews. So if that means if you're in a PMO manager now, right, and you've got that 3 to 5 years, your clock is ticking. If you're a project manager now and you want to become a PMO manager, there's lots of jobs available. Just go out and Indeed, Glassdoor, and LinkedIn and go look around. I've ran 7 PMOs in my career. Right? We've showed you this graphic before. 7 PMOs. Okay? And so a lot of them, yeah, sure, a lot of them was at Microsoft. But my point is, I've ran 7 of them. And so this whole running, shutting down, building, this is a process that's over and over and over again. But let's do this. Let's break down the PMO interview. And trust me, I've been through a number of them. Step 1, like every job, you get a general recruiter. Hey, what's your salary? What's your availability? Blah, 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 blah. Step 2 is either a panel interview or individuals working in that space, a PM or 2 in the current PMO, a peer, a manager from a different group. And then step 3 is often the senior manager, director, VP, hiring manager, but often very few people with tactical PMO experience. Okay, you think your VP of whatever IT or whatever is going to have a ton of PMO experience? Not usually. Okay, do you think the general recruiter is going to have a ton of PMO experience? Not generally. So again, that's generally the breakdown. But before walking into that interview, if you could quote the steps, right? Building, running, or shutting down an industry-leading PMO, how amazing would that be? Can you imagine? Imagine when it's your turn to ask some questions, right? Because you always have to prepare for that. If you were able to make a quick assessment of their environment based on the questions that you were asking and know what areas to which you would need to improve if you took the job. Imagine having a game plan before even going into the job of knowing already what you have to improve because you know how to build, run, and shut down a PMO inside and out. And I've got plenty of offline stories I can certainly tell about that. So again, if you know how to build, run, and shut down a PMO inside and out, imagine what your interview process would look like. See, the information I cover will prepare you for these conversations. Even if you've never built a PMO before, ran a PMO before, right? Or even shut down a PMO, right? I'm going to walk you through all that material. This is the same information I use when I prepare for my PMO interviews, right? I was preparing for a PMO position at a local university 3 years ago. And during that interview, I literally had my own books open. And I was quoting out of my own book during the interview. It worked perfect. I got actually offered the job. I didn't end up taking it, but I got offered the job and I thought, you know what? This stuff works. The material I have works, and I know for a fact it will work for you. So, what company is going to want to hire someone who knows PMOs better than the people even being interviewed? Every company. Right? Every company. If you know how to build, run, and shut down a PMO inside and out, clearly you're going to be much more valuable than the person that they interview next and they don't know this information. So is this going to work for you? Well, we covered 3 secrets, right? We told you how to build, run, and shut down a PMO from your home, office, or mobile device, right? Udemy, 10 million users, 40,000 classes. We talked to you about how to build, run, and shut down a PMO while doing your day job. Don't. It's never going to happen. You get 121 emails a day. It's never going to happen. Get yourself to the point where you're there and you not even think of trying to do a course during the course of your day. It's not going to. You win a PMO interview and be more knowledgeable PMOs because you know all the components of build, all the components of run, all the components of shutting down. You know these 3 components inside and out, and you can quote those. And you can get to the point where you say no on the job because you know it's a horrible environment and you don't even want to walk yourself into that process. How cool is that? Okay? So let me ask you a question. Can I ask you guys a question? Sure. It's no secret most people need help, right? There's no strongly believe will take you to the next level. I've got a brand new course, the PMO Lifecycle Building, Running 19. So you get the free book, you get 19 modules that take you through support, PMO staples, resources, maturity models, staffing models, right? You get workbooks, you get PMO resource time access, group webinars, live calls, private Facebook group, right? All in the efforts to get you to be a world-class PMO manager. Remember Michael and Don, right? These guys have been using this course for years. And really, here's what they have to say.
My name is Michael Schost, and I'm a Senior Vice President of Operations and PMO for Health Tech Inc. in New York. I wanted to take a moment and talk to you about my experience with BuildOut's latest course, A Tactical Guide for Building a PMO. Like many professionals, I've struggled with making time for continuing education. With the certification industry growing, more players entering the market space, it's become harder than ever before to find the right course or training that's going to be the right fit for me. I've got to consider the cost, the amount of time the course is going to take, the flexibility of the course's schedule relative to my own schedule, the support for the course, and at the end of it all, I've got to come out with the knowledge, the whole reason for taking the course in the first place. The Tactical Guide for Building a PMO has been an excellent experience. It has clear, concise modules that get right down to the essence of the information being conveyed. It empowers you to develop an understanding and through the framework of the course, create an actionable roadmap towards building and operating your PMO. The modules are short in duration, but packed with exceptional content that cuts through the superfluous information. They reinforce the core concepts from previous modules and build on that information, leading you into the next module, keeping you on track as you move forward at your own speed. The course materials are robust, easy to download and use, and the support provided by Bill Dow is world-class to say the least. My experience with the tactical guide for building a PMO has been wonderful. I highly recommend it to anyone who has to build a PMO or wants to understand how to do so. Thank you, Bill Dow. Thank you, Tactical Guide, for building a PMO.
If you're looking to start a PMO, this online course, the Tactical Guide for Building a PMO, is one of your best resources. I've utilized Bill's book, The Tactical Guide for Building a PMO, for several years. It was the first book that I purchased when I was requested to start a PMO, and I've used it extensively over the last several years. When Bill asked me to test his new course, I was really excited, learned new information, and can't recommend it highly enough. If you've been asked to establish, mature, or upgrade your PMO, I highly recommend that you consider this course, give it your best effort, and you will leave this course at the end better and more prepared to build your environment. I hope you take this seriously and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Both of those guys actually refer to my first version of the course, which is fine. And again, this is really cool. It's actually an updated version. So you actually get an updated, you're not getting the tactical guide for building a PMO. You're actually getting the PMO lifecycle, building, running, and shutting down. And again, the question is, will this work for you? Well, clearly it's going to work for you, right? It's worked for me. You're taking all my 17, 18 years, but you're basically taking 7 years of 7 PMOs that I've built, and you're putting that all into that training. You might be thinking you can't get started because you have no time. Well, we talked about this, right? We talked about doing the training during your day-to-day job. Don't do that. Find a better environment. If this is important to you, then you will find the place and the time to do this training, right? And it won't be during the day. You got to get over that. Your company won't pay. You know what? We've talked about this. This is actually your career, and it's not your company's. If they don't pay and it's tough for you, but you want to find enough value, then you're going to figure out how to pay, right? So again, not all companies will pay for courses, but again, you're not going to be at that company forever. This is your career. And when you really value your career and how you want to move your career forward, you'll find those funds. And I think you'll find that the funds are really not that much. Is it only for PMO managers? Actually not, right? We just talked about the training. This course is for PMO managers, non-PMO managers. Remember how we said, how great would it be to turn down a job because you're smarter, more educated about PMO environments before you even start working there. So clearly it's not just for PMO managers, program managers, portfolio managers, project managers that want to move to that PMO. So what are you going to get, right? You get the PMO lifecycle, building, running, and shutting down. That's $990, so $997 value, so about $1,000. You get a book, $69.99, and you get access to the Facebook group. And you know what? I'm not even going to put a value to that. Think about the value of getting access to myself and other PMO managers wanting to help you answer questions when you get stuck along the way. What will you be able to do? What are you going to get, right? You're going to be able to understand how to build a PMO, run a PMO, shut down a PMO, set up a mentoring system, maturity models, dashboards, reports, right? There's 19 modules. Will you be able to get rid of your fear of building and running PMOs, interviewing for PMOs, understanding how they operate, and many, many more fears, right? And a lot of people have those fears. I have the same fears myself. Again, when I started back in AT&T days, all right, I didn't know how to build a PMO, how to run one, didn't know how to shut it down, didn't know how to treat the PMO as an organization, didn't know how to set up processes and roll those processes out, didn't know models, didn't know reporting, didn't know buddy systems. I didn't know any of this stuff. But what I'm doing is I'm sharing my 15 plus years, right, 17 or so years of learning in this course. I'm putting all this material, all these videos out there so you have access to them. Now, how much time do you think that's going to save? You can go Google, you can go Bing, you can go search all these various items, and a lot of that stuff will come up, right? But imagine if this was all available at your fingertips and you'd have ongoing access to it. So how much time will that save you, right? If you took my 15 plus years of running PMOs and compiling them into 19 modules with 4+ hours of videos, right? How much surfing on the web would it take to compile that information across 19 modules? Remember, you're getting 121 emails a day. Think that's going to save you time? How much time do you think it would take surfing at home looking for the information? Because you're not going to do it during your day, right? But you still need this information. But imagine how much time it would save you, because all these things are served up to you in 19 bite-sized modules with workbooks, with files, right? Not available anywhere else but inside the course. Where do you want to spend your time, right? What is your time worth, right? And where would you rather spend your time? I think you guys can answer that, right? I think you can answer that yourself. I'm not in a position to answer that. I don't think I need to be. The PMO Lifecycle online course, 19 modules, copy of the book, course files, Facebook group, right? Again, 1997, right? The book, right? Not even going to put a value, but let's just say it's 1,066 when you have an access, ongoing access, not immediate access, but ongoing access to other PMO directors and myself and other people willing to help you in the Facebook group. Right? I also have some amazing bonuses I'm going to throw in. So I'm going to throw in today $49.99 value. This is the PMO assessments package, right? This gives you a schedule, a collection tool, a white paper, a presentation, a template, an article. It also gives you a half-hour call with me. I'm throwing that in. Also, what I'm setting up is the PMO Lifecycle office hours. We're still in the early stages of getting that set up. There'll be an hour-long session. You'll get 6 sessions from the start date of coming on board, right? You've got problems, got real-time solutions, bring it to office hours. Part 1 will be you'll send in questions, and we'll store those questions, and we'll address those questions during the office hours. And Part 2 is we'll have Ask Anything. And basically what will happen is you'll get 6 sessions set up, and 6 sessions where you'll be able to come to that. That's a $1,200 value, basically giving you that time to ask questions real time. Right? So what are you going to get now? Right? So now we're at roughly $2,400 with the $997 value, the book, the Facebook value, the PMO assessment, the 6 office calls. Right? You're about $2,400 plus the Facebook value. So I'd really had 2 choices, right? I could go as cheap as possible and try and sell as many courses as possible and really reduce that price down to nothing. Or I could give you a little bit higher of a price option, make sure you're getting the access and the attention via the Facebook group and the office hours. And I think both of those would be extremely valuable. Now, I'm not going to charge you the $2,400, right? But if I did, what do you think that would be worth to you? So think about that, and I'll just take a quick drink here, but think about that. What's it worth getting all that information, right, delivered to you with the 19 modules in the 4+ hours? Right? What if you could still do your day job, right, and learn these industry PMO concepts on your own time? What's that worth to you? What's it worth to you to go in and know from an interview perspective, know this stuff inside and out before quitting your current job? Imagine knowing the environment you'd be walking into before you give your 2 weeks notice, right? Any value to those things? Of course there's value. There's a ton of value to those. Okay? So again, what are you going to get? The PMO Lifecycle, Building, Running, and Shutting Down, 19 modules, the book, the private Facebook group access, the PMO assessment package, the 6 office hours, roughly $2,400, plus the Facebook group value. I'm not even putting a price to that, but guys, give me a break. You got to have a price to that. So today's offer, and I'm only going to leave it for a limited time, right? With all of that, strike it all out. I'm not going to charge you that, but I'm going to charge you $697. So $697 for today's price for a very limited time. Go to dowpublishingllc.com/courses/webinar and go lock that price in at $697 and come on into that, right? So if you head off to my website right now and you just go to Dow Publishing LLC courses, you're going to see it's $997. If you go to my store, you're going to see basically, and myself and other PMO experts are roughly $200 an hour, right? And that would be great. You could pay $200 an hour and you can bring an expert in and that expert will be unbelievable. But how does that help your career? Right? Yeah, it doesn't really, right? Because the expert's going to come and go. The expert will have no value in showing you this information. They're going to come in, they're going to set it up, and you're going to be stuck with what's left, right? $200 an hour for PMO experts. So you have two choices, right? Do what you're doing today and continue down that path, or jump into my course today while the price remains this low, because it's not going to remain this low forever. All right, I'm going to give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. The book will come on the 31st day. Again, I've had some folks who have taken this offer up and have taken the book and basically canceled right away, so took a free book. And so again, just allow me a little timing around that, but I will guarantee the money from a 30-day perspective. The question now is it worth gambling, right? And so is it worth your time to get in there? And I think it is, right? I think it's really worth your time. And so here's what you're going to get: the PMO life cycle, the book, the access course, right? $2,400. But actually, I'm going to do you one more favor, and I'm going to throw in 1 hour call. So you get an hour and a half call because you get the PMO at a half-hour call. You get a 60-minute call. I'll help you with anything that you need. Sign up today, dowpublishingllc.com/webinar. I think you're going to really, really like it. The $690 price is only for a limited time, right? It's going to go back to the $997. You're not going to get the bonuses. I'm thrilled to offer you this price because you guys sat through this today with me, and I'm super, super excited about it. So I will jump into Q&A now. I'll stop the recording. We'll jump into Q&A, and I will spend time. I'll jump into the course if you guys want to see it. But thank you for your time. Thank you for everything. And I hope to see you on the inside. Thanks. Bye-bye. Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you all for joining today. I'm super excited. It's Build Out here, and we're going to talk about how to build, run, and shut down a PMO without having to hire high-priced consultants. We'll just give it a minute or two to let folks join. And then also, I can see the chat box, so folks, let me know who's on and where are you from. Okay, we got John from New York. Excellent. We got another John actually from Dallas. Okay. Sue's on. Mary. Awesome. Yeah. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you again for joining today. I'm really, really excited about walking you through how to build, run, and shut down